The following are clips from a panel discussion on strategies for integrating and addressing accessibility and universal design in course content. This took place at the CULT conference at the University of Colorado at Boulder on August 8th, 2013. All of our panelists here today have in some way been involved with integrating topics that address either accessibility or universal design into course content. And what we'll talk about today is strategies for doing that, for adding content that addresses what we call universal design or relates to disability or relates to accessibility.
I find that when I teach towards universal design, my students have a larger worldview and they look at the web as not just a place for themselves but other people. And as I teach them, the best practices regarding universal design, they're just writing better code. They're writing better websites. It's compliant. It's going to last longer. If they're using things like the web validator, if they're filling out their alt tags, these small little steps, I think it opens their eyes to what good code is, what good code can be, and the benefits that come with that. Whether or not people with universal design needs are coming to the website, I don't think it's relevant. I think it's just a more holistic way to teach technology that a lot of students aren't really used to yet.
I think we have to understand them in the context of sort of shared human activity. It becomes a very human and humanizing process. And so I think the focus on not just the final code, let's say, but the conversations that lie behind it are really important. One of the things that I'd like to do is sort of loop back to this notion of the definition of universal design. And what, again, long experience with teaching engineering students is that, again, they think of this as widgets and they're designing things out in the world. And in disabusing them of this notion, we focus quite a bit on user-oriented design and functional design. And I mentioned that they'll never have as much of an anthropological course as this course on technical communication and design. It is really about people.
And I think I'll add, echoing what Rolf and Joel said, is I teach an online class for universal design for digital media, and the reason I find it effective is that if you look at any of the design experts who have been writing in the last 10 or 20 years, people like Jacob Nielsen, the emphasis is, again, the term has been used, user-centered design. And when you focus on different types of populations, people with disabilities, but also maybe people using older technology, people who use English as a second language, I find it forces the students to look at their design from how the user looks at it. And even forgetting about, let's say, disability for a minute, just putting themselves in the shoes of somebody who's looking at their website, and this goes back to what Rolf was saying about widgets. I think often when students or anyone design things, they start thinking about, well, what would look good to me? How do I want this page to look? And the universal design discussion sort of brings it back to, brings you sort of out of that box, and you're looking at what is the best design for different types of people who would use my product or services.